Quinlan Vos has appeared or at least been mentioned in 6 stories in the Star Wars canon, and really only 2 of those stories actually involved him in a significant way. The Clone Wars episode The Hunt for Zero and the book Dark Disciple. Compare that to his 48 appearances or mentions in Legends. I would say Vos definitely ranks in the top characters that were most affected by the old EU becoming Legends because he has lost a lot of history. But could we see him return? Will we ever see more stories featuring this unique Jedi Master? Let's run through his Legends history first and then cover what could possibly be brought back into the new canon. Quinlan Vos was born into the ruling bloodline of his home world, Kifu. He had the rare Force talent of psychometry, which allowed him to learn the history of inanimate objects just by touching them. His Force sensitivity was discovered by Jedi Master Thulm, who took Quinlan as his Padawan. Vos served as his apprentice through the Stark Hyperspace War until he achieved the rank of Jedi Knight. He then took on his own Padawan, Aayla Secura, with whom he grew very close. When the Clone Wars began, Vos turned down the offer of becoming a Jedi General and chose instead to work undercover, overseeing a spy ring within Separatist ranks. He personally spent 3 years infiltrating Dooku's inner circle, which involved him skirting very close to the dark side. He struggled to justify some of his actions, which included cold-blooded assassinations. Near the end of the wars, he finally returned to the Order and accepted the rank of General, only to be betrayed by his clones during Order 66 at the Battle of Kashyyyk. But he survived the ambush, making his way back to his lover, Colleen Hintz, who he had met during his time undercover. Together they went into hiding with their son, and Quinlan Vos seemingly lived out the remainder of his days in peace. A fair amount of his story is already canon. Thulm was still his master, and Aayla Secura was still his Padawan. His abilities in psychometry and his time undercover were all explored in canon material. The novel Dark Disciple involved his time spent gaining Dooku's trust, and Vos's difficulties justifying his actions. I will say Legends explored that far more deeply, but in broad strokes, the story remains very similar. Even his falling in love undercover still happened, just with a different character. What's not canon are his origins and his survival of Order 66. As of right now, I think we could absolutely see more from Quinlan Vos in the future. The prequel era has plenty of room for more content, and I would say the new canon has made a priority of blurring the line between good and evil in some new stories. So his character would be perfect to continue that exploration. Seeing more of his time as a spy would be very interesting. Maybe we could get a story behind his appearance in The Phantom Menace. As for his survival of Order 66, I think that's less likely. I'm already of the opinion that there are too many Jedi running around between episodes 3 and 4, but what I think would be cool is if Marvel did like a 5-issue run telling the final stories of Jedi like Vos, who theoretically died off-screen. The series could be called Order 66, and each issue could tell the story of a different Jedi and their last stand. But really it just comes down to what stories Lucasfilm wants to tell. They've said something along the lines of how they want to find good stories first, and then decide if any current characters would be a good fit for them. For example, they didn't write Rogue One with Saw Gerrera in mind. They wrote the story and needed an extremist rebel character, and realized Saw already fit that description. But if Lucasfilm wants to continue the trend of telling more human, morally ambiguous tales, and they happen to involve the Jedi during the Clone Wars, Vos would be a perfect character to include. That's it for today. If you've got a Legends character you think might return to canon, put them in the comments and I might do an episode on my thoughts. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out my Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.